straightened up from where they'd been lounging on either side of the open door leading into the building. They were both dressed in artfully ripped designer jeans and leather jackets that strained across their broad shoulders. Ivy's shifter senses prickled at the unmistakable aura of feral energy exuding from them. Ivy's long, scorpion-barbed tail instinctively curved above her back, ready to strike as the two shifters sauntered forward. She hissed in warning. The two men stopped in their tracks, eyeing her arched tail warily. "Shit," the smaller of them muttered. "I told Gaze this was a bad idea." "Take a chill pill, freak," the other man said to Ivy. A snarling wolf head tattoo on the side of his neck marked him as a member of the Bad Dogs, a local pack with a particularly vicious reputation. "You may think you're a big deal, but if you start something, you're sure as hell going to regret it." Ivy let her scaled lips wrinkle back from her foot-long fangs. Acid dripped from her jaws, sizzling as it hit the ground. She had the pleasure of seeing both men flinch. "Stay back, puppies," Ivy said telepathically. "I can obliterate you with a single breath. Now, where is my sister?" She had the unmistakable sensation of her mental demand bouncing unheard off the men's skulls. Shifters could generally only talk in animal form to others of the same general type. Cats to cats, wolves to wolves, and so on. It was one of the reasons packs and crews usually tended to be formed of similar types of shifter. As a wyvern, Ivy herself was a mythic shifter, one of the rarest of all the shifter groups. Although Britain had an unusually high population of mythic shifters, they were still uncommon. It wasn't too surprising that neither of the men could hear her. Ivy concentrated, pushing her wyvern's endless anger down to the bottom of her soul. Her scales tingled as she shrank back into her human skin. Both men's taut shoulders relaxed. Ivy was no lightweight, but in this form both men had at least 6 inches and 100 pounds of muscle on her. They clearly thought they now had the advantage. They were idiots. "Huh," the shorter man muttered, staring at her curiously. "It's just a girl." Ivy aimed her sharpest scowl at him, yanking off one of her gloves. "Who can still kill you with my little finger? Stay right there." "Like either of us would want to touch you, even if you weren't a monster," the tattooed man sneered, his eyes flicking dismissively down Ivy's curves. "Anyway, you got an invite. That means you're safe. For now." "I'm not here for the party." Ivy's fist clenched on her glove, her bare hand still raised and ready. "I just want my sister. Go get her." He jerked his thumb at the half-open door behind him. "Go get her yourself." Ivy switched her glare to the smaller man, but he just shoved his hands in his pockets, leaning casually back against the wall. It was clear neither of the men was going to move a muscle. No doubt they were under orders from their alpha to make sure she went inside. Ivy bit back a curse. When the mysterious party invitation had arrived last week, she'd known it had to be some sort of trap. No one invited a wyvern to a Christmas party, not even an all-shifter Christmas party. She'd told Hope it was a trap. And her stupid, stupid sister had happily bounced straight into it. And now Ivy had no choice but to take the bait. Lifting her chin, she strode between the two men, heading for the doorway into the apartment complex. It led to a stairwell, the banisters decorated with twining boughs of holly. Festive music and laughing voices drifted up from the penthouse apartment below. Ivy grimaced, but jammed her hand back into her glove. Much as her wyvern screamed that she needed to be ready to defend herself, she could hardly walk into a crowded room with bare skin exposed. Her entire body was venomous, and she couldn't risk hurting anyone. Tugging at the sleeves of her thick denim jacket to make sure every inch of her arms were safely covered, she headed down the stairs. The sounds of revelry got louder, making her wyvern's hackles rise. Her inner beast was on hyper-alert, its protective fury making Ivy's stomach churn. She was unpleasantly aware of a wet stickiness starting to fill her gloves. In her agitated state,